guys. How are you? Hi, this is Miss Polly. It's a very interesting day today, guys. It's a very, very interesting day today. It's nice to see you guys. I know I have not been live in a minute. And today is one of the days I have off. So I'm trying to get some content down. I'll also try to get some more for tomorrow. But for today, I definitely wanted to start this new year, even though it has not gone to the second month. So I feel like it's a new year still. Start this new year by giving out some more content. And one of the topics that I would love to talk to you guys about was to way to start poly. And I think one of the ways that most people worry about um, is becoming a polygamist. And the first thing I usually hear is that, I want two women and I want this experience. And I'm always like, okay, so how are you going to start, And sometimes, yes, I am the victim of the practice of how that starts, the conversation starts. And so usually I try to give some people some information. So to the best of my ability, because I also know that their point was to come to me to ask me to be part of something. And if I'm not there, I'm just not there. So usually I'll try to give out some tips if I think they're coming at it incorrectly and all those things, right? So that is what we're going to talk about today. So if you are a gentleman and you guys are interested in poly, now I know this is a new concept to some. It can seem very overwhelming, stressful. How do you start your journey is one of the questions. How do I start my journey? Women are into that. Most women are into some other things. So like there's so much that comes to your mind when you consider possibly getting into this. And I want you guys not to be the ones to to start surprising women with still searching for the two women you'd want to be with, or possibly try to entertain the idea of such in a monogamous world. And listen, I used to be that person, be like, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if they care, they're gonna get on board. And I still mingle in the monogamous world. But the thing is, right, that is difficult, especially for someone who has never done it before. Is trying to explain what you're trying to learn to someone else who's new also, and not having a real plan or a way of doing it. So if you're interested in having two women, I think the first thing you need to do is kind of educate yourself. And what I mean by that is not thinking, oh, I know, I'll just get two girlfriends, because if you're here, you may already be aware of having one girlfriend may be a lot, right? And in the society that we live in, those women are also requiring a lot, and men are talking about it. So if you're a man who, and some women want you to be able to provide certain things, right? So you're stepping into this. The thing is, we want to be aware of where we are. Location. So if you're still trying to date on regular apps, you're probably going to have a lot of fails, right? And we're not talking about fails, okay? We're not trying to do that. So you might want to start going into those areas where they cater to that, right? So there's Facebook has some groups. And yes, I will tell you, Facebook also has those groups, and there's a lot of AI, there's a lot of fake profiles. And you know why it's fake profiles in there? Because those guys go in there and they know that you're going in there looking for two ladies. So the first thing they do is make a fake profile, try to get some information, blah blah blah, so you can get excited thinking there is something. So there are some safety steps you want to take to get to that point where you are interacting with someone. If you need help with that, like I said, that's a coaching situation, because we're not calling anybody simple or all that. I don't know what they're doing. But if you're in a situation where you keep getting catfished in Facebook groups that are for poly, you might want to start thinking, hey, okay, so what is it that I'm missing? What am I not seeing? Well, am I misunderstanding what they're saying? Blah blah blah. So first, location. There's Facebook groups, there's TikToks, there are a lot of people who are very open about being poly. And there's some private groups that aren't. There are events that take place. Thank you for the line. There are events that take place. You can go. Polyamorous people do go in there. Hey, Mr. Beth. There's polyamorous groups. There is a Polypalooza. It's going to be, oh my gosh, please don't tell me I'm going to forget. Polypalooza. If you look it up, that is an event that's actually, it's going to be starting soon. I think it's like in April. It is an event for poly people. There's a couple in Texas. But there are places where they have big events where there's large gathering of poly people. That's what I would suggest you go if you're interested in meeting in real life, real people who are poly. So that those are things you can do. Okay. It kind of asks people about poly. A lot of people want to come up front and say that. So those are where I would start. Now, if you're a person of color, there are groups that are for colored people. And I say, and when I say colored people, that's all kind of colored people. Most of the time, it's going to be anyone who's not Caucasian. If that's what your thing is, there's a group for it. I promise you, right? Hi, Miss Polly. I'm a whole man, gay man, but you are gorgeous. Oh, I appreciate that. And I really appreciate that. So, also, that's another thing. So you want to do some investigation. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate your comment. And this is the other thing. If you are a gentleman, okay, who you're interested in finding two women, I have seen instance too where there is a man and he may be bisexual or gay, and he pairs with a woman, and she has a woman partner and a male partner. So those are quads, but there's other options, okay? But that's why I'm saying do your research. Find out if you're interested in that life. I believe that most people are going to start going towards that way of trying to figure out how to be poly, because most of the time our economy just reflects right, what we're doing. And right now it is hard to live as one person, let alone 2, 3, or 4 people. And you see it now, even if they're not in relationships. Most people who are having more success are grouping and things like that. Large groups of people, living in a house and blah blah blah. They're making more money, right? So anyway, the way we want to start poly, if you're a gentleman, like I said, find a location that is meant, okay, that is meant for that. Stop playing around on Facebook. Stop going into these places where people are wanting monogamy and then hoping you can change their mind. That is called cowboying and cowgirling. We're not going to do that, right? So anyway, but also as a man, I always suggest, because I know this is a big thing right now, is support, financial support. I'm not saying you can't find a woman if you ain't got some money together, but I think you should be able to support at least yourself and another person. Because if you're asking for 2 women, most women are going to want some kind of support, right? If you split the bills, talk about that. Have a plan. I think the worst thing that could ever happen for a man is to come into this poly world, or come to a woman in general, and not have any plan at all. I think that's the worst idea ever. And that plan doesn't have to, it can be a cookie cutter idea. It doesn't have to be like, specific yet, right? So how I would do it is, if you go into an inbox, you see someone you're interested in, most likely you're interested in what she looks like. You're not interested in all the other stuff, right? So, or you might be, but we haven't got that far yet. You say, oh, she's attractive, I want to talk to her. So what you do is you reach out, say, hey, I'd like to talk to you. I'm interested in maybe getting to know you. Don't say you're interested in a poly. There's just so many different ones. Be very specific, because you need to know what you're talking about. Please educate yourself to some degree, even if it's some kind of information. Hey, I'm interested in, building with 2 women. I'm not, maybe whatever your preference is. I don't want my partners to have other partners. I'm okay with them having other partners. I want to have 2 women, right? And this is what it looks like. This can also apply to people who are non-monogamous, who maybe don't, if you just want to be, non-monogamous and just ethical with it and telling people, because you want everyone to know what's going on. That's for safety in all ways. So you're going to tell them, hey, listen, I have a plan. I'm trying to get a house, have this, and this. Now, some men will have the plan, but no execution. You also need to know how you're going to get there. Okay, how are we going to get there? So, like, I saw that you work this particular job. I work kind of this job. And I think that what you do and I do will work. So you have a plan for the woman you're trying to get with. Let her know the plan, and then ask her if she want to be part of the plan. Because what the thing is, you're telling her what you can offer. She has to make the choice to choose you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You want the woman to choose you. I know you guys are like, oh, you guys supposed to pick me. You want her to be like in all full knowledge that she's choosing to go on this road with you. Thank you. You want her to know that she's doing that. Okay. Another thing is, yeah, I just got an inbox. I'm gonna tell you the story. I got an inbox. A man came to my inbox, told me he was interested in talking to me. And I advised him, like, I was not in that space, but what he said was, I'm not sure. He wasn't sure about nothing. And I told him, I said, well, next time, I think you should approach me with a plan. And I think you also, find out more about what you're looking for. Because if you say, hey, I picked you, I thought you were attractive, I thought what you have going on could be very valuable to me, that's why I'm choosing to talk to you. So I think that is a good thing. I know guys are like, don't tell us how to run game. But I'm not trying to run game. I'm telling you how to present yourself to this idea. Because a lot of women are already in the space of, are you going to do that? And some of them like, I can do for myself. So if you know that woman can do for herself, then what value do you think she's going to bring? And let her know you saw the value. Pointing those out is very important, right? Also, the compromise. Now, I think there's a lot of men who have this plan, but they don't have any wiggle room. I think you can take in what someone is saying and think if there is a compromise you can make. Don't compromise things that you are absolutely a no on. Do not do that. Hi, Black. Do not say, oh, I'm okay with this and this, and you're not. Okay? Don't do that. There's lots of people who will compromise the root things that they're against because maybe they think they can change their minds. Don't ever think you're going to change someone's mind. They have to change it. Now, can you be convincing? Possibly, but that's still not the choice. You're giving them the information. You still have to allow them to make the choice. Because if you're not allowing them to make the choice, then you basically, it's just like a bully. You're just like, oh, we were going to do it this way. And they're most likely going to walk away from that situation. Oh, thank you. But I'm trying to work on being very, very in shape. This is the year I'm about to do a competition. I don't know what competition yet, but yes. So yeah, I think the first thing is when guys come into this space of poly, I really want you guys to be educated. And most women think you're coming to the plate as a polygamist. I've been in the spaces of poly, so I know there's polyamorous men who are okay with their women having other men or women or blah blah blah. And there's some polygamists. Most people, when they're talking about poly, are talking about polygamists. They just are. They just are. So find out a lot more about that. And they actually have their own structure. Now, if you don't know a little bit about myself, I am polyamorous, but for a very, very long time, I can appear polyandry, which is the woman with multiple men. Okay? In that, when I have conversations on platforms with other people who are polygamists, and that's including women, there's a lot of head bashing because we don't agree on the same terms, right? And a lot of polygamists have a lot of religions backed into what they do. There's different kind of religions that use polygamy, all those things. So when you're coming into it, there are some people with a lot of information about polygamy. There are some men who are, I always thought I was going to battle with polygamists. I met a polygamist once, and how he explained it to me, he convinced me that they're not all horrible, and the whole idea of being a polygamist is fine. And I think that, yeah, he doesn't agree I should have more than one man, and hands up, okay, but he's very respectful. And for most of the time, then he started kind of getting unrespectful, but he was very respectful, and he educated me on why he would lead women and things like that, and that was something that I took from that, and I never really had an issue with any polygamists from then on. They got it because I know that the ones who really mean it, and they are very valuable men. That's how I think. Hi, Cyrex. Sorry, I cannot see you though. But yes, so if you're interested in having more than one girlfriend, definitely look into those aspects of it. Um, and see what that is. Now, if you don't want the religious part of that, you can still take some of the information from them because there are some religious things that people don't want to go down. And if you're just polyamorous, which is polyamory is in general, it's like kind of like a build your own, right? They're not as restricting as the other two, right? So polyamorous is you just have more than one love. That's basically what it is. So you can have it could be a husband and it does not matter, right? So this is polyamorous is having those relationships more than one person. Those dynamics can look different. It can be all women, all men. It can be all kinds of there's so much. So if you guys want to educate yourself, I have other videos. Please take a look. I explained a lot about all those. If you want to know, I'm sure I'll make a new video. But my first video ever, I explained all those dynamics. But if you're interested in polyamory, which is just more than one love, you can have more than one partner. You may just want to have one partner and your partner have other partners. That's called monogamous poly relationship, right? A mono poly relationship. So one of your partners is monogamous, and you date other people. Now I will give you this. Someone has gone on Reddit. I'm very very sure. Okay, and they have got information. I want everyone to know. Please know that Reddit is full of emotion, right? I want it no matter who, man, woman, they're full of emotions. So when you go into Reddit and you look up stories about this, you're going to also see in there not only stories about people who are poly, but you're also going to see stories about people who are monogamous using poly as a way to continue to do bad behavior. So when you see those and you read those, be cautious because a lot of those things get in your head. Overthinkers all the time. If you are in Reddit and all you see is hundreds and hundreds of stories about, oh yeah, I thought we were going to be poly and I want to be my wife and then she started sleeping with this guy and she just left me because he has a bigger thing or he left me because I'm like, okay, like that I didn't say it doesn't happen, but it doesn't sound like she was poly. It sounds like she didn't want you no more, but she wanted your resources. So we got to make sure that if we're getting information that's going to help us be better in what we're doing, we're getting information that's not that biased. Now, I'm not saying don't look at the information. I want you to get the information. Get the information. Have it in your head that there are some people who use monogamy. Okay, they want to be monogamous, right? And they will get with people, and then they're like, "Oh, I want someone else." But what you can give me is more valuable. But I want to run off and still play with John or Sammy or whoever. Because with the thing is, they want to cheat and still get the resources from you. And you do have to be aware that people will use poly as a way to cover foolishness. And that's why if you're new to it, you might want to get a coach, a life coach or something like that, and kind of walk you through those steps. Because if you have an issue, it's good to be like, hey, and I'm one of those people too. I've done it before. I charge I don't charge a lot right now. I have no reason to. I charge like $25 and you can talk to me for 30 minutes and whatever. Okay? You can talk to me. And if you need to make a deal because you need more time, fine. And if you call me and you tell me something that's like triggering me, like, hey, hang on a second. This sounds like something else. We're going to try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's BS. Right? And so we want to know who is playing games and who's not. And for men, there are incidents where men do get taken advantage of in those situations where they find a woman they care about, and then she says, oh, I want to be polyamorous, but the fact that she doesn't want to lose the resources you provide, but she will go off. And they'll use that. Or, men will have one woman, and he really, he likes it, she's nice, and she gives and gives to him. But then now he wants to find another one that he just wants to run around and treat like a princess. There are incidents that these people do, and it's not right. And so we want to make sure that, that you're aware of it and that we can get that to stop. And on top of that, since I'm polyamorous, I also want whoever's representing that doing it correctly, because I'm saying I'm polyamorous. So if you think every polyamorous person is running the street, I don't like that. I don't want that to be a representation of me. So one thing also in advocating for poly people is that I like to really give as much information out, because at the end of the day, that is who I'm telling people I am. And I'm not going to go out here and keep telling people I'm this, and then the people representing it, you keep saying it, are incorrect. I'm going to correct those people. That's part of making sure that what we're doing and is preserved as what it's supposed to be. Okay. Um, oh, where's the link? Wait, what? Okay. Um, I am poly still. I am still poly. So I don't eat black ass. So I am poly still. Yes, I am polyamorous. I've always been polyamorous. I look polyandry because my partners usually do not date other people. I think for the most part, I've been blessed with that. It's not something that I looked to find. Um, but I think it's just the particular partners that I don't know. I can't make it. I'm not saying that it's a. I'm saying I was blessed to have people who want to be that for me, be very supportive of me, and be in that relationship with me. But we also have had times where they have looked for other partners, which I'm fine with too. Through the years I've done it was very positive. The only thing I will say, there were times, because I did do what I told y'all not to do, which is I do date monogamous people. And a lot of times that is difficult, because in the same breath as I'm saying, hey, like, do you want to get to know me and blah, 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 I also am showing them how to live a whole nother life. You know what I'm saying? And it's a kind of it's kind of hard to be this teacher and want to be living in the emotional state of actually being a partner. So I'm like trying to show you stuff. So like sometimes I have to give grace and all this stuff, where extra grace because of things. It is an experience to do that. But now I am with someone who's polyamorous. And like I said, it's different dating someone's polyamorous. That's always been a thing. I think I've dated 3 people who are polyamorous ever. That's it. And this is the 3rd one. So it is it's different, because they're in the same mind as me. So that also is a thing too. So if you're in that mind, if you have that natural mind, that's one thing. If you're a person trying it, a lot of people who are in poly have done it for a while. A lot of them don't want to do the teaching. That's why I said kind of educate yourself. Do some light dating. Date solo poly. Now, if you don't know what that is, there are people who don't want to make lifelong, sometimes they're lifelong, but like they don't want to live in the same house. They don't want to have the same bank account. They want to have an experience with you. Wherever the boundaries are, y'all make them, and that's what it is. But you're their partner. And I, for a long time, was not a fan of solo poly. I don't think it's for me, but there are people who are solo poly, and it's cool, right? But for them, they have their own way of doing things. But for people who are trying poly out, I would say a solo poly person would be probably best for you if you're going to do it, because they're still probably dating people who are open to trying it out, because they're not going to commit to those degrees. You dating someone who's polygamy, someone who's polyandry, they're building lives. And I'm not saying that they're like, oh, we're gonna get our bank, we're gonna live in the same house. They're ready to go. Sometimes polyamorous people. So if you're solo poly, those big life things aren't gonna really come to the forefront. So you can have the opportunity to try to see if that's a life for you. And I think that's the best way to do it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the best way to do it. I also have taken myself over to the Tickety Talk place. I've been over there. That's a new thing. I'm going to start a gaming channel. Also, I have the channel up. I haven't put anything on there yet. I'm going to be having conversations with gamers. So if you're interested in that, just check me out on TikTok. I'm kind of titty tot. Then I'm just trying to figure that out. But at the end of the day, still talk about relationships. I wanted to come and say hello. Just trying to go on to work and trying to make this money, y'all. Make this money. Now, when they're playing, I haven't got that far. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm trying to avoid playing. I just want to talk to people who play. But I know I'm gonna have to play. I'm aware. I like N64. I like PlayStation 4 and 5. I like 2XKO. I've been dabbling playing that. Street Fighter 6 is the really hot thing. So that probably where I'm going to be at, trying to go to some conventions this year. On top of that, because my partner is a gamer, professional gamer, so that's another thing. So like those can also correlate. Listen, I'm the kind of person like I surround myself with me and my partners. So if that's part of your life, and I'm with you, it's part of mine. And so being embodying that on lives and doing that's a big part of it. So that's another part of finding these women. Remember that you want them to be, you guys want to be integrated together. So making sure you find the woman that's going to help make that fullness is what you want to look for. And not just women who are cute and pretty and all that, because that goes away. Yeah, it's cute, but that don't stay. Okay, all right, and try to be open with that and allow that space. So like I said, if you want to do life coaching with me, you guys hit me up, inbox. We can have some more conversation. I actually had already set up my life coaching website, like I'm not like what about 4 years ago. Set it up already. It's still there. I have not made it active because obviously I'm working on some other stuff. But there are lessons and things like that about where to go. I can still give those to people, and I charge them if they want to have that, and have access to a life coach if they want to know how to get to women, they want to know where to go. And also I am providing for the men, because I'm a lady and I know I'm like, oh, you're a lady. Since I have a male partner who is polyamorous, and he also has been with more than one woman. I think at one point it was three women, and he's been in different he's been in dynamics I haven't been in. So he has a lot more experience about how do you get with those women, what do those women expect. And so being able, I'm sure, as obviously your partnership, that giving information and advice to you gentlemen, if you were to come to me, we can set up something where you can have a conversation with him about that, and that would be no problem. So I'm setting up even for men who would like to get information about how to start this process, because he has started it. Okay, he's done it, he's been down the road, and he is currently possibly looking. I think he said he's still looking for it, open to of the other female partner. So that is something that is too. So while he's going through that process, it's very fresh in his mind, and you can know how that works. And any questions you have as a man out here, trying to figure out, and he has struggles too. Don't think it's all easy peasy, because there are struggles for men that women do not have, and women have struggles that men do not have. If you are a woman and you're open to poly, you will get flooded with how do you decipher through that? See what I'm saying? That's your difference. Men, a lot of times they will get not a lot, because now it's become a lot more selective. So you got to know. So if you want someone to help you kind of get through that, I have that there too. You're right. Guys don't listen to the fish. That's why I said, don't ask me, ask him. I've always said that. And Mr. E Black will tell you, if you ask me, and I'll tell you what I think they said. But if you don't want to hear it from me, I'll go get the fisherman for you. I'll go get him. I don't got no problem. Gonna get that man so he can tell you how to do right. But he gonna want to get paid. I ain't gonna lie. He gonna want to get paid. Now all the time he gonna want to get paid. Okay, because he about that. So I'll do it like this. You know what I'm saying? He gonna want to get paid. Okay, so you said get on Tekken. Oh Lord, sir, I watching Rock'em Sock'em Bots. That's not what I want to do. I appreciate that. I know, because guys are gonna come here and be like, don't listen to how you get to women. I do think you need to be prepared. I'm just telling you little tips. You don't have to take it from me. Okay, I'm just giving you little tips. If you want to find out some more, I know where you can go, or I'll tell you what he said to me, and that is fine. If you want to listen, that's cool. But definitely, I think those are the real big ones, is finding where to go, because a lot of you men are in the wrong location. Being ready to support them mentally, And y'all already know mentally and financially, probably to some degree. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying all of them like that, but they all you know what it is anyway. And be able to have a plan ahead of time and advising them how your plan is going to work with them. Um, wow, what bars. Anyway, um, can you compromise? That's the other part, compromising. So I think these are things you got to think about when you're trying to talk to these ladies. Please, like I said, inform yourself about poly before you start. Oh, the fisherman. Oh, Lord. Yeah, please, 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 please inform yourself about um, polygamy. And I will tell you, there are some men out here who have great information about being great polygamists. And there's books. And if y'all don't want to read the books as audio stuff, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it takes a lot sometimes to convince me. And I'm telling you, somebody convinced me, and that's all I need. He convinced me. I said, "Oh, okay, they ain't so evil." So if he got me thinking, it might be okay. Then I think he did a good job. That's what I think. I do really, really much think that. Okay, let me get a little closer here. Hey, Doug. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time. I wasn't gonna stay real long anyway because I have to go over the Tickety Talk because I'm trying to do more than one live, and spread the joy everywhere. That's what I'm doing. And I try to dress up today as Belle. So I got my some pearls on here. Y'all know I cosplay, but I don't want to go buy the outfit. I want to just have. I'll just get my own interpretation of it. You know what I'm saying? I try to rhyme because I think I'm cool. But that's just because I think I'm cool. But yeah. I definitely look forward to having more conversations and just building. That's what I want to do. That's one of the goals this year. I had some goals last year. I don't think I was ready, but now I definitely am running. You know what I'm saying? So I got some good stuff that should come out. So hopefully you guys are there with me on the journey. It's already been quite a journey getting to know everyone, especially in the manosphere, which I still mingle in occasionally. Um, and it just and things like that. So I'm grateful for all those connections I have made and met and intend on, still popping in and out. And as I grow in my, in my craft, I hope everything is, just better and better and better. So, right, you put your mind to, you can't do it, and you as cool as the winter blizzard covering up in the dark. I appreciate it. Okay, like I don't have no crazy videos. I try my best to be professional. Uh, I'm trying. Hopefully get these videos together. There's a gentleman who I met who edits things, and he's pretty busy editing things. But I intend on asking. I do intend on asking. Uh, I live in near a river. I'm so sorry. I'm a fish in the river. But I definitely want you guys to be productive in finding these ladies. If you're interested, like I said, if you do some coaching with me, if I find women that could fit into what you're in, because I do mingle in poly areas, I'll send them your way. Like I said, like any coaching I give you the benefits, and it's private. It's private. I don't give out the information, and nobody's business but yours. So if you're interested in poly, that is your business, and nobody else needs to know that. I don't care who it is. This is not how I do. So, if you're interested, I'm gonna give you information. I'm going to make sure you're educated. That is my job. So, anyway, I'm on all platforms as Miss Polly. Look at that little piece of hair just sitting out there. Okay, so I am on all platforms as Miss Polly Wright. That is all of those lovely ones. You guys can find me. I'm more playful on Tickety Talk. And I also will start my gaming stuff, and then I'll have my other channels. I also do cooking, and that is on Film, Flavors, and Wisdom. And that also going to get some updates too. because all I do is cook food. But I've been trying to cook some good stuff. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and hopefully it's not snowing too much, because I don't think it's snowing here. And I want you guys to be positive and safe in all things you do today. And I appreciate you guys for coming in and checking on me. And I feel like this was successful. You know, I feel it. Like I feel it, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me get out of here. Y'all have a great evening. If I hop back on here later, it's because I'm crazy. That's basically what happened. So y'all have a good night, and I appreciate you. Bye. Mm-mm.